So you finally decided to dive into the world of airbrushing, or maybe you've already been there, frustrated with splattery lines, weak compressors, and kits that promise a lot but deliver garbage. Trust me, I've been there. After testing a mountain of airbrush kits, I've narrowed it down to the absolute best ones that are actually worth your money. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, this list has something solid for you. Check the links in the description to grab any of these kits or to check their latest prices if any of these catch your eyes. Now let's break down the top 10 airbrush kits that actually perform. At number 10, we have the Master Airbrush CoolRunner 2. I picked this one up first because I had read a lot of hype about its cooling capabilities and dual airbrush setup. The unit comes with a gravity feed and a siphon feed airbrush, along with a high-performance compressor, hose, and a pressure regulator with a moisture trap. When I fired it up during a long airbrushing session for a model train diorama, the compressor stayed surprisingly cool even after a solid hour of continuous use. The airflow felt stable, and I did not have to stop and wait for the machine to cool down. Switching between the two airbrushes allowed me to shift from wide base coats to finer detail work in seconds, which was incredibly convenient. The metal build gave it a solid, premium feel. Compared to the Oasser AK2-2, which I have as number 9 on this list, I found the CoolRunner 2 had much steadier airflow for larger projects. The pros include dual holders, sturdy build, stable air. The cons include heavy compressor, faint hum. At number 9, we have the Oasser AK2-2 Airbrush Kit. This kit felt sleek right out of the box, with its chrome finish and polished design. It includes 2 airbrushes with different needle sizes and a very straightforward compressor. I tested it on some intricate cake designs, and was impressed with how easy it was to clean the nozzles in between color changes. The smaller paint cup gave me more control, especially when working on tight detailing, and it stayed securely in place without any spills. What I did not love was the stiffness of the trigger spring. It made it hard to feather the air at first until I got used to it. The hose connector also felt weak, and I worried about breakage during multiple setups. Compared to the Master Airbrush CoolRunner 2 at number 10, this one was more lightweight and easier to carry around, but lacked the same powerful airflow. The pros include twin cups, chrome finish, easy cleaning. The cons include flimsy connector, stiff trigger. At number 8, we have the Gocheer Airbrush Kit. This is one of the more compact kits I tried. It comes with a gravity feed airbrush, a mini compressor with a built-in water trap, and 2 needle nozzle sizes, which is great if you want to do both general coverage and fine detail work. I used it for a series of scale model cars and was really impressed with how consistent the airflow stayed at around 18 psi. The fine lines came out crisp and precise. It did get a little warm after about 40 minutes, but the heat never affected performance. Cleaning was straightforward, although the needle cap threading felt a little loose. Compared to the number 7 kit below, this one had a tighter air control setup that gave me more confidence with delicate patterns. The pros include compact design, dual nozzle sizes, smooth spray. The cons include moderate noise, compressor warms. At number 7, we have the Sharpen Airbrush Kit. This one grabbed my attention thanks to the unique retro-style toolbox case. I loved that it came with both a gravity and siphon feed airbrush, giving me flexibility for various applications. I took this one into my studio to work on temporary tattoos and was really satisfied with how the gravity feed brush laid down gradients and shadings. The water trap did its job well. I did not see any water spots on my projects. However, I found the latch on the case opened way too easily. I had to use a rubber band just to keep the lid shut when transporting. The siphon feed was also a bit finicky with thicker paints. Compared to the Gocheer kit at number 8, this offered better airbrush variety but felt cheaper in overall build. The pros include stylish case, brush variety, moisture control. The cons include flimsy latch, loose cap. At number 6, we have the SprayMagic Airbrush Kit. Right away, this kit stood out for its powerful compressor. It runs on oil, which helps reduce wear and tear and keeps the noise low. I was a bit skeptical at first about the maintenance involved, but once I started using it, I quickly understood why this design is favored by professionals. I sprayed some mural details and noticed how evenly the paint went down at even just 8 psi. The compressor stayed whisper quiet and cool even during an extended 2-hour session. It came with 3 different nozzle sizes that allowed me to experiment with textures and thickness. The downside is, this thing is heavy and takes up a fair bit of space. Compared to the number 5 kit below, this one delivered better spray quality, but was a chore to move around. The pros include silent operation, multiple nozzles, good mist. The cons include heavy kit, oil maintenance. At number 5, we have the InoKraft Airbrush Kit. I wanted to try something geared toward artistic versatility, and this one came in a nice metal case with well-organized accessories. It includes dual airbrushes with siphon and gravity feeds, plus a precise dual-gauge regulator and humidity trap. I used it for a series of faux finish wall tests and was really impressed with how it maintained consistent output. The humidity trap made a noticeable difference. It kept the paint from clumping or drying too fast on the surface. While I loved the artistic performance, the case design felt like an afterthought. There was no foam or padding, so things rattled around during transport. The paint cups were also smaller than I would have liked for larger projects. Compared to number 6 SprayMagic, this kit offered better portability and cleaner detail, but had fewer high-capacity features. The pros include adjustable regulator, humidity trap, soft trigger. The cons include no foam insert, small cups. At number 4, we have the Casabas Airbrush Kit. This one is great for anyone looking for something quiet and efficient. It comes with 2 airbrushes, a mini compressor, a pressure gauge, and a well-rounded cleaning set. I found this kit to be super desktop-friendly. It barely made any sound while running and allowed me to do some subtle detailing on paper and light fabrics without drawing too much attention. The airbrush felt light but precise. I do wish the compressor had a little more power for thicker paints, and I am unsure how long it would last under regular daily use. Compared to number 5 EnoCraft, it was quieter, but not quite as rugged. The pros include ultra-quiet, fine nozzles, desk-friendly. The cons include weak for thick paint, unclear longevity. At number 3, we have the VEVOR Airbrush Kit. Vivore always gives that industrial feel, and this kit is no different. It includes 3 airbrushes for different purposes, a sturdy compressor, and a water trap. I really appreciated the range of needle sizes because it let me work on everything from base coats to precise pin lines. I used it to add gloss layers on a set of car models, and the performance was solid. The compressor maintained a steady 30 psi with very little pressure drop, even as the needle sizes changed. The included case is tough, but it adds bulk. This is not the most portable option out there. Compared to number 2, AKALLIBRE, this one had more versatility, but less comfort over long sessions. The pros include multiple brushes, sturdy case, steady pressure. The cons include moderate noise, low power. At number 2, we have the AKALLIBRE Airbrush Kit. I was drawn to this because of its no-nonsense design. It comes with a steel compressor, 2 airbrushes, a dual-gauge regulator, and a cleaning set. This was one of the smoothest spraying kits I used, especially for illustration work. The regulator was super precise. I could lock in the perfect pressure and not worry about drift. The compressor ran cool for hours. The only real drawback was the lack of a moisture trap. I had to pause mid-session to clean out condensation. Compared to the number 1 kit, it performed nearly as well, but with slightly more maintenance involved. The pros include precise regulator, cool compressor, smooth spraying. The cons include no water trap, sputter risk. At number 1, we have the IMYDS Airbrush Kit. This was hands down the most well-rounded kit I tested. It comes fully loaded with 2 gravity-feed airbrushes, a quiet compressor with auto shutoff, a built-in moisture trap, a solid metal case, and a regulator. I threw everything at this kit, inks, acrylics, and lacquer, and it handled all of them with ease. The compressor auto shutoff was a game changer. It prevented overheating and reduced noise during idle periods. The airflow stayed locked at 25 psi with no fluctuation, and the moisture trap eliminated any chances of water spots. The metal case had a snug fit for every tool, making setup and teardown a breeze. Compared to number 2, AKALLIBRE, this one came out ahead in both control and comfort. The pros include moisture control, auto shutoff, cool quiet. The cons include heavier weight, case size.